to Book 101 Review. Book 101 is all about the books that I've read for the last 40 years. And today I have my special guest. He's the CEO, founder, and of course, a personal branding leadership expert, no other than Mr. Alan Mclaren.
Hello, Daniel. How are you?
Welcome on Book 101, Mr. Allen. I'm fabulous. And can you please introduce more about yourself that I miss?
Yeah, you didn't miss anything. Our core mandate is working with CEOs and founders to help them gain clarity and then gain visibility in the market to help them drive whatever is important to them, whether it's attracting new employees, driving business, securing funding, M&A, whatever it is that visibility drives for a CEO, we will help them do, and it's mostly building it online through content, through podcasts, and other tactics to help them gain visibility.
Mr. Alan McLaren, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. And today, let's talk about personal branding for CEO founders is no longer a luxury. So tell us, why is self-doubt often silent struggle for ambitions for men, and what this make this nature for CEO or founders no more exist for them?
So the self doubt is something that many people have, especially when they're dealing with a new skill like being online and being visible. And the new skill that we teach our CEO founders is the act of video. So what we're
Mm,
doing today, but actually doing video, because video is the most powerful medium because it's the most authentic medium. And it allows you to scale you and your message, because once you've done one video or 20 videos or 100 videos, that lasts forever. And then people will be finding you based on the algorithm, based on the interest, based on whatever. So what happens is, to be able to get them to a place where they feel comfortable telling stories in 90 seconds or 2 minutes, it creates a lot of self-doubt that, why would anybody listen to me? And then we help them through that. And then once they get on the other side of it, then they thrive. But it is, I'd say 90% of our clients have self-doubt before they get started.
self-doubt for sure. And how does the experience of imposter syndrome uniquely manifests for founders and CEO?
Well, as I said earlier, the biggest question we get is, why would anybody listen to me? And I get that every single day. And the answer is quite simple, actually, is what you think is normal, somebody else might find fascinating. So never discount what you have as knowledge, and more importantly, perspectives, because that's the unique part of you. Every human being on the planet is unique. The experiences where you live, where you were born, where you went to school, your brothers, your sisters, your siblings, whatever it happened to be that influenced you today, create perspectives on things. That's unique to you. You remember Dr. Seuss, for some of you who are a little bit older, he said, only
Mhm.
you are you. And that is so true in the world of personal branding, is that to identify who you are, your gifts, your knowledge, your credibility, how people see you, once you identify that, then you can start to overcome imposter syndrome when you recognize, when you're out there and you're getting feedback on, that was interesting, that was really cool, I learned so much, thank you for sharing. And you start to break down the barriers of imposter syndrome and recognize, our most important message is, this is really an act of service. Because when you're teaching people, which is what we teach people to do, we're not talking about influencers here or trying to sell stuff. What you're trying to do is teach people the best of your knowledge. I mean, this is called Book 101. Why do people read books? They read books to learn, to grow, because they're curious, because they enjoy the act of reading, but they hopefully take things and learn and grow, actually take steps towards something new. So that's the work that we do to help people overcome imposter syndrome by learning about what's important and learning about what's clear in their mind before they get out there.
Mr. Allen, why has a strong personal brand shifted from vanity project to a core business asset and a critical component of a CEO's role in the last 5 to 10 years?
Well, a couple of things. First of all, distribution has never been better. Social media allows us to spread our message better than anything else. That's number one. Number two, when you think about it, the next set of customers are only people that have known visibility online. They're the only, if you think about anybody that is younger than 40, they only grew up with social media. I did not grow up with social media. I didn't even grow up with the internet when I was younger. And when you start thinking about that, saying now visibility is demanded, transparency is demanded. A website alone is not going to do the trick because you can't get inside the culture of a company, right? How do you really understand a company? Look to their leadership. So, in our word, what we like to do is say visibility can equal profitability and help you build your culture and help you drive opportunities like driving revenue and attracting new employees. But you need to be out there because in the old days, you could hide behind the logo. You can't hide today. So, why not be ahead of it and actually be out there sharing the best of your knowledge of yourself and your company?
In the age of skepticism, how does a founder's personal brand act as a shortcut to building trust in the company itself? Do people buy from the company or from the leader they believe in?
Well, it's really both, right? At the end of the day, what you think about is every business transaction starts with a relationship, unless it's an e commerce play. But even an e commerce play requires trust, doesn't it? Trust is the foundation of humanity. You don't build relationships without trust. You don't sell things without trust. And if you just think about this, say, okay, how do I, what will happen if a CEO builds trust with me? Well, when I see their marketing messages, I'll feel more trust. When I see their salespeople calling me, I will feel more trust. When I see their e commerce ads, I will feel more trust. Well, how do you build trust other than that? Reputation is what we're talking about. And how do you build reputation? By being visible and being authentic and getting out there. So that's the secret to building trust. It is actually being out there and being visible because people need to see you, they need to hear you, they need to believe you so they can trust you. And then the other part of that that's really important is many businesses are built on relationships, meaning partnerships, bankers, M&A, anything that you want to think about. And how do you do that? Well, when you're out there, it's a lot easier when you're known versus unknown, isn't it? So I have people all the time that say, I'm looking to raise money. I'm saying, but you don't exist. Nobody knows you. There's no chance. But if you were out there for years and all of a sudden decided to raise money, people now know you. They'll refer their friends, they'll refer the other bankers, they'll refer investment bankers. That's the secret sauce.
Thank you for giving that secret, Mr. Allen. And tell us, how can CEO's strong personal brand create a sustainable competitive advantage that is very difficult for competitors to replace?
Well, here's the mic drop moment. You have no competition for your personal brand. None. There's nobody else like you. So your company has dozens, if not hundreds of competitors. You don't. There's only one you. So when you're out there building relationships, you're building relationships based on who you are, your authenticity, and the things that you share with the world. So that's it. If you think about that, and here's some other powerful things to consider. Imagine you and your executive team all being out there actively on personal branding. What will happen? Relationships will flourish. We often say this, oh, well, I'm not on LinkedIn a lot. Well, how many people do you have? Well, we have 2,000 people on LinkedIn. That's 2,000 people that don't know what you do for a living. How can they ever help you? But if you start posting content that's relevant, then at some point they go, oh, Alan, oh, he's the guy for personal branding. I can help him. because your friends often ask you, do you know anybody that? A lawyer, a doctor, a consultant. So that's the beauty of getting out there. It's not a luxury anymore because that's how revenue is driven, that's how trust is built.
Trust, indeed. How to build trust is something else. Beyond the customers, how does a visible and respected founder brand become a powerful magnet for attracting and retaining top tier talent who want to work for a visionary leader?
Well, it doesn't even have to be a visionary leader, Daniel, because what we want is authentic leaders. We don't want curated leaders saying, oh, you run $100 million business, you need to act like this. No, you don't. You need to act like yourself. And what happens when you do that, and people find you and check you out and go on LinkedIn and say, wow, really cool. I love these videos that they have produced. And by the way, when we say produced, I'm talking very simple, a recording on Zoom, a recording on a phone, a recording on Riverside, whatever you choose to do, but not, with B-roll and music. That feels like marketing. What we want to do is have authentic conversations started by a video. So you do that very simply by recording 90-second to 2-minute videos. You can learn how to do that online. You can learn how to do that with consultants, whatever works. And you start to build trust that way. That then attracts other people. So the first exercise is clarity. Once you have that, then you start to figure out your content. Then you start to figure out how to actually do these videos. And then a very important thing, Daniel, for all of your CEO founders to think about is you need to go out there and celebrate others. You need to go online and comment on other people's stuff, not just great job or nice video. Actually, say something insightful. Because when you do that, you're building individual relationships. And that is, in addition to your content, is the secret sauce to building a good personal brand, is build relationships, give, and then good things will happen to you.
It's better to give than receive, people. And very well said, Mr. Allen. Truly, truly empowering answer. How have platforms like LinkedIn, X, and niche podcasts fundamentally changed the game for CEOs who want to build their brand directly with their audience bypassing traditional media?
Well, traditional media was a filter, right? And it's still a filter. You have to pitch them to get you out there. You have no filter on any social media platform. You can find your tribe, your audience right now. They're all there. Whether they're in a group on LinkedIn or a group on Facebook or directly with the relationships you have in your industry, they are all there right now. So that's the secret, is that you don't have to wait. And oh, by the way, is there a less expensive way to reach your audience? If there is, I don't know it. Think about it. You're not doing email data, you're not doing email marketing, you're not doing advertising. You are simply creating content and reaching the people that matter. That is why these powerful tools are there in front of you. You just have to learn to use it as an asset, leverage it, learn how to use LinkedIn, learn how to use Facebook, learn how to use Instagram, or get help. Either way, that's the way to get out there and leverage those tools.
Mr. Allen, why is a modern expectation of radical transparency forcing founders to be more visible and authentic than ever before?
Well, we've kind of touched on it a little bit, right? Your new customer needs you to be visible. Your employees need you to be visible. We always say, why are you hiding behind your logo? Nobody can see you from behind your logo. So when you get out in front of uh, the stories that you want to create, the things that you're doing for your business, all of those things are incredibly positive, and that visibility will equal profitability over time. It is a long game. Let's not fool ourselves to think I'll just start posting all of a sudden on LinkedIn and magic will happen. But you will become a magnet to attract the right things over time if you're consistent and you do it for a long time. But it is now becoming an absolute necessity to be visible. In fact, we are often argue that not being visible is now a business risk. If you're not visible, people don't know who you are. When something bad happens, now you're starting to build trust and build relationships. Too late. time to get out there early. So if something bad ever happens, like a crisis, they already know you, they already trust you, and that can help you both internally and externally.
Mr. Allen, as a CEO, founder, and personal branding leadership expert, what are your short term and long term goals?
So we want to reach as many CEOs as we can for a couple of reasons. Obviously, for the growth of the business, but more importantly, because we actually think CEOs have a responsibility to actually be out there sharing the best of themselves with the second generation, third generation. It's important that that knowledge doesn't go away. And when you build a video library, which you do by working on LinkedIn and creating content, you put it all on YouTube, and that is there forever. It's a repository of knowledge. And can you imagine if the top 500 CEOs in the world were doing that regularly? It's just like books, but it's easy to consume. People consume audiobooks, they consume regular books, and they consume video. Well, you could be that person that helps make a difference. So that's what we're trying to do. Is we're trying to really encourage CEOs to be out there, founders to be out there. It's fun, it's easy to do. You just have to actually start doing it and make it part of your weekly routine.
Good luck to your goals, Mr. Allen. Looking forward for more success. And what would be your piece of advice for those CEO founder out there want to build their own brand?
Well, if you don't know where to start, get help. Number one. If you do know where to start, and you listen, you have Chat GPT and the other tools to be able to help you think through that. So help you think about your personal brand, what you need to do. The challenge you will have as a CEO is actually doing the work because you oftentimes don't control your calendar. So you may get help from your internal team. For the most part, most internal teams are not capable of helping you in a big way because they're focused on marketing. Marketing is not personal branding. I want to be very clear. This is not about selling. This is about building trust and building relationships, not sharing company content. That is not personal branding. So my advice is if you need help, get help. And if you have help, make sure you're consistent and you do it every single week because it requires those deposits to actually become a magnet to attract opportunity.
Yes, consistency is the key. And if you need help, please do ask for help. So, Mr. Allen, can you please recommend a book or books that influence your journey?
Yeah, there are two. One is Adam Grant's Give and Take, and the secret to that is when you think about in the personal branding world, we talked about building trust and building relationships. Well, in the real world, you have to know that there are a lot of peoples in the world, and Adam Grant breaks it down. There are three types of people. There are givers, of which we talked about earlier. There are takers, and there are matchers. A giver is obvious; they give without expecting any return. A taker is somebody that takes from you and sucks you dry of your energy without giving you anything back. And matchers, once you help them, they feel compelled to help you. So understanding those three categories for me is really helpful. It doesn't mean I don't talk to takers, but I'm very careful with takers because I don't want them to take a lot of my time. So I live in the world of givers. The people I attract are givers. The people I want to be with are givers because they help each other, they support each other, and do that. So that's the first book I recommend. The second one is Arthur Brooks, From Strength to Strength. I'm on the second, as they say, the second nine in golf or the last quarter in football of my life. And this book is about really identifying the strengths that you have for the last third of your life to make it the most important part of your life. And really, they break down a few things to think about is as a high achiever, when you get into your last part of your life, your skills change. Your brain is not the way it was when you were in your 20s, but your intelligence has actually shifted. It's more important now to use your wisdom and experience to do that. And then the other key message is for everybody that's out there, relationships matter. They are going to allow you to live long or die young. So you better make sure that in the second half of your life, you are building strong relationships with people who can be your friends, your colleagues, and things to do. So those are the two books I recommend, and they've made a big difference in my life.
Thank you for the recommended books, Mr. Allen, and for a founder who is hesitant or doesn't know where to start, what is the single most impactful first step they can take this week to begin building their brand?
I'll give them two. One is take your LinkedIn profile, put it into ChatGPT, and hopefully, if you've used ChatGPT before, it should know you a little bit. And just say, what would you do to improve my LinkedIn profile? That's number one. Number two is actually go out there today, go online and start commenting on your connections other posts. Just start doing that. If you start doing that, you'll feel comfortable, you'll see the reactions you get. And remember, it's very important, you have to type something that's insightful, not just great job. You have to do something, because by the way, your comments are being measured on LinkedIn now too. You got actually can look at that and say, my comment got 500 impressions. 500 people saw a comment that I wrote. Think about who you are reaching. If you do that 3 times a week, how many people are you reaching without even posting content? So, those are the two things I would say you could do today.
Yes, today, people, today, not tomorrow, and stop procrastinating. How do you convince a technically brilliant or introverted founder that visibility is necessary part of their job, even if it's outside their comfort zone?
It's not easy, Danielle, to be honest with you. What we have found is we have created so much awareness in the last 4 years, but awareness doesn't mean action. So, really, what we're looking for is people who have identified already that visibility is important. They just don't know how to do it or how to get started. So, we cannot be in the business of convincing people. They have to come to the conclusion that visibility is more important than being non-visible. Just ask yourself this question: is it easier if you're known or unknown? It's an obvious answer. So if you're going to hide behind your insecurities, I'm sorry, as a CEO, you are a founder, you've already dealt with more crap than any other human being on the planet. And you're going to let this slow you down and hurt your business. So I like to be a little harsh, but I always say get over yourself. We work with a lot of introverts, and when they learn the skill, they're phenomenal. Why? Because they're authentic. And that's all we're asking people to do is try it out, figure it out. We're here to help if you need help, but you have to get started. And if you do nothing else, you can go comment. Well, that doesn't require you to be out there, but you're at least building relationships. And that's what we're talking about.
Why is the ability to tell compelling origin story and vision for the future is the most powerful tool in a founder's branding toolkit?
Well, think about this, right? Stories have been around since humans have been around. We know the importance of storytelling, and people remember stories. They don't remember, here are the 3 things you need to do tomorrow. They don't remember that stuff, right? So the idea behind that is you have to learn how to storytell in 90 seconds to 2 minutes. And the way that we teach people to do that is really simple, is just figure out the topic, what you want people to leave with as a message, and then figure out the story you want to tell to do that. Everybody can do that. Now you have to learn how to storytell in a succinct way, but you can do that. And that every human is capable of it. We have had introverts, people with imposter syndrome, and all of them come through the other side within 6 to 8 weeks. And they recognize, oh my God, I wish I would have done this earlier in my life. So you just have to start and then you'll learn. And learning is the amazing part of what with this journey as well.
Mr. Allen, before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people. My other podcast, because my abstract essay is already in fifth season, abstract poetry in second season, and my book 101 review in fifth season too, comedy 101 in second season, and my food 101 in fifth season as well, geography 101 in fourth season, and my baby podcast law 101 and mental health 101, love letters in third season, and Movie 101 Review and Music 101 in fourth season, and Science 101 and Text 101 in its first season. Please listen to them. wherever you listen your podcast. So, Mr. Alan, if a CEO or founder continues to treat personal branding as a luxury, what is the ultimate cost? Is it lost deals, lower growth, irrelevance, or something else?
Well, you'll never really know, will you? Because here's the stupid thing to say. If you're not out there, you don't know what you're missing. You just don't know because you'll never see opportunities when you're not out there. So, yes, it's going to be lost opportunities. Yes, when you need to leverage it because you want to hire an executive and nobody knows who you are and nobody knows what you do, then you'll have trouble hiring the right kind of people. When you even recruit the right kind of people and they say, who's the CEO? Are they visible at all? Because those are questions that are being asked today. So it's all of the above: raising money, trying to secure and acquire other businesses, attracting great talent, driving revenue, keeping employees happy and excited about where the company's going, because they can be very proud when their CEO or their founder is out there sharing the best of the company and themselves with the world. So there's a lot of consequences to not doing it, but until you're out there, you don't even know what you're missing.
Mr. Alan Mclaren, CEO, founder, personal branding leadership expert. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. So, can you please invite our listeners to support your advocacy, your business, or whatever projects that you're doing right now?
So, yeah, so I can be reached on LinkedIn anytime. So please do that. Thank you.
Yes, people, let's support Mr. Alan McLaren because if you support him, for sure, more and more empowering personal branding leadership to come. So, Mr. Allen, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Daniel. It was a pleasure.
More to come, people. See you soon.